Welcome to Bargain Bin Saturdays, where I review movies I've purchased from the $5 bin at my local Walmart. And in today's album, we'll be taking a look at the true story of Puss in Boots, a French animation released back in 2009. While this movie was released back in 2009, it is surrounded by rumors of being a cheap knockoff of the 2011 Puss in Boots movie by DreamWorks that is based on the character from the Shrek movies. And I'll be honest in saying I'm not sure when this movie was dubbed into English or when it was released. Though it wouldn't surprise me if a few companies picked up on rights for local releases around the time the DreamWorks movie was going to come out. But I don't think this movie was created originally with the intent of being a cheap knockoff meant to make money from an unwary and unsuspecting public. Although a few of the complaints baffle me, since many people argue that the title characters in both movies are rather similar in appearance, and I highly question this since the Puss in Boots in the 2009 movie wears a shirt underneath a jacket with green pants and red boots, while the Shrek version of the character wears far less clothes and his entire ensemble is usually black. Story-wise, the true story of Puss in Boots is rather strange, since the text on the back of the box barely has anything to do with the actual content of the movie, and probably creates a cheap opening for a joke about a cock-blocking pussy. For starters, the son that inherits the talking cat in this movie is the son of a miller, and to compound matters, he doesn't receive a talking cat with magical boots, but is ordered by his father to make boots for the talking cat using some special leather. And while the part about Puss helping the miller's son win the heart of the princess is true, there is only one person outside of the miller's sons that is interested in marrying the princess, and that is the chamberlain. As for the actual story, it's such a weird combination of strange and boring that I don't wish to discuss it, really. The animation work in this movie is rather rough around the edges, if I'm being honest. It lacks the smooth look and feel you expect from a big budget title, which is probably to be expected considering this movie appears to be a direct-to-DVD release, but it's also hard to ignore the fact that the work feels far older than its 2009 release date based on the visuals alone. And I'd also be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that the lip-syncing in this movie is a bit off, though that's probably to be expected considering the movie is dubbed into English. Voice acting wise, the movie is painful, to be honest.
I'm not an ordinary cat. I have boots.
And while not all the performances are as bad as William Shatner's as the cat, I would argue the performances never go beyond being mediocre. At best. Music-wise, the movie is terrible. The opening song is especially annoying, and should have been enough alone to make me pop out the disc and watch something else. The true story of Puss in Boots is just painful to sit through. The movie is so boringly dull that you'd actually have more fun watching paint dry. At least paint is interesting at times, unlike the true story of Puss in Boots.